our collaboration started at the right time when large language models becomes very powerful and have been showing a lot of application in different domains. And when we started, and we first think about the safety issue, the trustworthy issue. We have several works under this topic. And one paper is about, should we trust a large language model as a judge? Because in the evaluation, it's not that easy for human to do the judgment, say if this answer is fire, if this answer is correct, or if this answer is trustable or not. So many people are using large language model as a judge. But what if the large language model always prefer, for example, long answers? Or large language model prefer the answer generated by itself, like GPT-4 always prefer GPT-4's answer, but give low score about DeepSeek's answer, for example, right? So we were saying, how can we quantify the bias when large language model are used as a judge? And we made a comprehensive study, and we have some interesting finding, like some of the models may really prefer long answer versus a short answer, give high rating for the long, but give short answer a low rating. But probably they are the same by quality.
So I totally agree with Xiangliang, and I think we made a great team, right? So at IBM, we not only care about inventing AI technology, right? And we see a lot of excitement about generative AI tools, right? But at the same time, we not only want to use those tools, we also want to make sure they are trustworthy and right, they are sustainable in the sense that they don't create harms, right? And also try to proactively mitigate potential misuses or potential risks. That's why we are very excited to partner with Xiangliang's team to basically come up with a comprehensive evaluation pipeline and even define what does trust mean, right, in the context of generative AI tools, right? We need to have a kind of the holistic view of understanding what are the potential risks of using these powerful but not very transparent tools, right? So through that objective, right, we develop a lot of benchmarks to help us understand are there potential biases, right? There are potential risks, right? Are there potential issues related to trust that people may not be aware of, right? Users may not be aware of. And I believe this is a very important step as we are probably relying more and more on large language models and generative AI in many other ways, especially for a lot of automation-based industry applications. A lot of times as humans, we don't have ground truth, so it's very hard to verify whether the output of a model, right? So we basically relay or defer this responsibility to a powerful language model that we think are capable of making a decision of which one is better or not, right? That's basically the use case of LLM as a judge. And even more, we are using LLM as a judge to improve another model, right, in a scalable and automated way. But in the process, we are overlooking is the potential risks and biases, right? And some of them are basically mentioned by Xiangliang. It's also surprising to us, right? So for example, language model as a judge, they always prefer the answers, right, generated by the same model, right? Or sometimes they prefer answers that are longer, right, but not necessarily better, right? So, and also some biases that persist when you specify some irrelevant information to the content, right? For example, if you add additional information about particular groups, right, or so, or gender, or so, that should be not affect the answer, right? But the judgment function will show different biases. Those are the things that I don't think the research and the users have good knowledge about those potential issues. If we don't reveal, right, these issues to the society, and we don't fix those issues, right, when we deploy language model as a judge service, right, that could potentially incur even a huge issue in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, I think this kind of study not only surprised us, we also want to share this with the whole community. And the researchers who are working on large language models, they can benefit from what we have found. And also, for the larger community, I think the main message is don't expect too much from the large language models, right? You can use it and sometimes you find it's very useful, but when it is used in scientific study or some very creative type of domain, like you want to generate something that is really unknown to all the people, it's not included yet in a pre-training, even a post-training, you probably can use the large language models as a tool to help you find the useful resources, and then you have a quick summary about that, but still you have to do the work about how to creating something new. I think that's very important. Everybody is using large language model, even my children in elementary school, and they talk to large language model for some funny questions, but for different type of work and for different applications. So overall, we should understand what are the risks of using large language model and what are the benefits of using them. So when people are using large language model, and they should be aware of the risks, they should be aware of the potential biased generation, and they should have their own judgment. Just take the answer as a reference to help them make a decision, but not just trying to make a decision completely based on their generated answer.
I'm also going to say the same thing, right? So, when you use LLM as a judge, definitely use that to improve your judgment, right? Not using that to replace your judgment. And I worry that if we trust this language model too much, and then we know there are a lot of issues like biases and hallucination and so on, right? So if we simply blindly trust whatever they say, then you lose the judgment about what is wrong or right. We already show a lot of potential risks. So I think always, use language model with caution and with a grain of salt about what they say, especially for those domains that you don't have the professional knowledge to judge about its output.
I think a lot. So we have weekly meetings, and every week we kind of learn from each other a lot. We really enjoyed the discussion because the students, I have to say the students did most of the work. They did experiments and they wrote papers, and most of us gave comments and helped them revise the paper. But I think all the discussion is very, very useful. Me and Pingyu and Tian, so we gave a lot of very good suggestions to the students in which direction we should work on, because we don't want to work on something that's already known, that is not exciting. So we have to try something that is, make us excited and also make the reviewer excited, make the whole community excited. So we should work on some problem that is really a big question for us. So I think the discussion was very, very helpful for all of us. And I really enjoy the collaboration.
Yeah, likewise. I think it's very fortunate to have a trustworthy partner to work on this trustworthy AI research, right? So in working on this research domain for a few years, you will realize, there's a lot of people who believe, we don't need to care about safety, we don't need to care about trustworthy AI, just move fast and break things, and everything will fix automatically afterwards. But it's definitely not the case. And also with the wider use of this technology and very fast adoption, I think these safety trustworthy issues will be more amplified, and risks will be amplified, and misuse cases are growing, and not like deepfakes and whatnot, right? So yes, that's very fortunate that we basically set up a new mode for academic and industrial collaboration, right, to work together to make these technologies safer and more trustworthy.